Hello, it's Denise, and this is Chatting with Chap. If you caught my update at 1 o'clock, you know that Ginger is not with me. She had her appendix out, so let's be praying for Ginger. But today we're coming on at 3 o'clock because we have a special guest with us today, Bonnie Greiner, who was a speaker at our 2019 convention, very popular speaker at our 2019 convention, is going to come on here if I can get her on. So I'm going to do my best to add her. It's adding her. So she's going to share with us her tips for preparing for a new school year. She's a homeschool 8, all graduated, and also a motivational speaker. She was extremely well loved at our convention. We can't wait to have her back. Hi, Bonnie. It worked. Yeah, we were unsure.
Yes. Am I on?
You're on. Yay! We did a test run and it took us a few more tries than this. So I am so glad we figured this out. I just moved into a new house.
Can you hear
so please ignore my bare white walls. I feel like I'm sitting in prison talking to you. There's nothing on the walls. But like I said, we have Bonnie here. And Bonnie, we would love for you to share with us some tips for starting a new school year. What do you have for us? Uh-oh, I see her, but I don't hear her. Ah. Oh, there she is. You there, Bonnie? Can you hear me?
Can you
Oh,
hear
I can now.
Can you hear me?
You want to share with us some tips for a new school year?
Denise, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. What do you have to share with us?
Okay.
There we go.
I wanted to share things that I learned from 3 families when I was starting to homeschool. Are you sure this is okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were frozen there for
Okay.
a little bit, but now I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. And I visited these families for a week in their home while they were homeschooling, and I asked them questions. And all 3 families gave me the same piece of advice for starting a new school year.
I can hear you fine. Am I frozen? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. And that piece of advice was every year. Okay. Yes. Okay. Every year, make a goal. Okay. And
I can hear you, Bonnie. So maybe if you just keep talking, hopefully everyone else can too. You're not freezing for me.
okay. The goal is, I based it on Matthew. I'm talking. All right. Denise.
Bonnie, can you hear me? You can't hear me at all? Oh,
No.
I can hear you fine. I could hear everything you said about visiting the families. So maybe if you just share with us, I think everyone should be able to hear you. If you're watching, let us know if you can hear Bonnie. I think we can all hear you.
All right. And so my goal was based on Matthew 16:26. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? And I decided I would have 3 goals before the beginning of every year, and I would change them just a little bit. The first was I was determined to read aloud to my kids.
That's awesome.
And I would be reading biographies that would help them understand godly character. Because if they gained the whole world through knowledge and yet did not have godly character, I had lost everything. And some of my favorites were hero tales.
Yes, you are the one who...
I have recommendations to find biographies. Yes. And that would be, I looked at Susan Kemmerer's Schoolhouse Publishing. She has reviews for every biography. Abeka Books, Bob Jones, and Sunlight.
Yeah, you were the one, Bonnie, who got me onto Hero Tales. I loved Hero Tales. So thank you for that. Yes.
And so by reading aloud, I conquered one of my other goals, which was I wanted to teach my children the love of reading. And when you read out loud, your children learn to love to read. The second goal was basic life skills. How was I going to show them through the year basic life skills? Things like basic math, taking care of the house, outside. And I would make a list for each of the 4 seasons of new things I could show them, just basic life skills that would also help build godly character. Everything was based around godly character. And the third thing that I did was I prepared for the year by starting a portfolio for each child with the tabs in the portfolio with their names on the front, a file in the portfolio for all important medical papers, sports papers, whatever important papers, so they wouldn't get lost.
So Bonnie, you didn't
every
wait.
child had a 3-ring notebook and a file inside the 3-ring notebook for every important paper. And that started in August, and so papers did not get lost.
So you didn't wait till right before evaluations? Like the day before?
And included in that 3-ring notebook with the file, I started them with pencils, a sharpener, a ruler, a calculator, and I put them all in a 99-cent grocery bag, the reusable bag. And every child had their own bag, and every resource and supply had to be in that bag. So if we had to quickly go outside, go to a sporting event, go to the dentist, the doctor, they could grab their bag and we could do work.
That is a great idea. That is awesome.
So those are my main ideas. I would stress more than any of them, read aloud every single day. When we would read about little boys and little girls who changed the world for Christ, it made all the difference.
Yes. Bonnie, that is some excellent, excellent advice. I love the idea of having that portfolio ready instead of scrambling at the end saying, where did all these papers go? That is an excellent idea. Mm-hmm. That is great. Bonnie, can you share just anything you did just to prepare yourself mentally as a mom for what the upcoming year was going to bring?
That's a great question. Yes, I will share one of the families that I visited before I started homeschooling took every Wednesday off for herself. Oh, wow. She did whatever she wanted to. Well, that didn't work for me. The second mom that I visited took every Friday afternoon off just for herself. That didn't work for me. But every day between 2 and 3 o'clock, I took off. The kids had to be busy or quiet somewhere, and I knew that was going to happen every day. And that's what I did. And I also was a part of a mom's group. And so every Wednesday morning, I went to this mom's group, and that was sort of my inspiration for the week. And I didn't miss that for the first 9 years I homeschooled.
Awesome.
I did not miss a Wednesday morning. So between the hour off between 2 and 3 that I could just sit, drink coffee, or do whatever I wanted to, and every Wednesday morning knowing I had 2 hours at this women's group.
That's awesome advice, Bonnie. That's great advice. I know a friend of mine who lived right down the alley from me, what we would do every August is we would do some major cooking freezer meals so that in September, when we were getting into the groove of school, at least cooking was a little easier throughout that month. So that's one thing that we always did too to get ready, was just have some meals in the freezer so that till you get into the routine and back to the daily grind. Because for me, we didn't do a lot of school over the summer other than educational field trips, things like that. But when we hit the books, it was nice having some meals in the freezer. Well, Bonnie, do you have anything else you want to share with people who are just going to be starting out this in the next few weeks?
I do. I talked about on my Mom by Example Facebook page, I talked about 10 tips when you feel out of control or overwhelmed. And I would encourage everyone to get my free newsletter on Mom by Example Facebook page with 10 tips, because the 10 tips all apply to homeschooling.
Okay.
And I think that they would help any mom. I was overwhelmed when I started teaching 3 children at once. I felt like I was totally out of control. And I came up with these 10 tips to help me, and I think they would help everyone. So if you go to, I can give you the link, Denise. It's a free newsletter, comes out once every other month or so. And I think those 10 tips.
That would be awesome, Bonnie. If you could put a link in the comments when we're done, that would be great. But you can find Bonnie on Facebook at Mom by Example. That's where she's at on Facebook. And like I said, she was a well-loved speaker at our 2019 convention, and we can't wait to have her back again. So thank you, Bonnie, for taking some time out of your busy day.
Thanks, Denise.
And coming on here and sharing with us how to prepare, how to get ready for the next year.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, this has been Chattin with CHAP, and hopefully next week we'll have